What is up, Watch fam? Happy Sunday, and welcome to this special edition episode of RANT&H. I am Christian from Theo and Harris. This is Rolando and Anthony, and we're about to have a lot of fun, so stay tuned. All right, before we jump into today's episode, a quick wristwatch check. Daniel, what are you wearing?
The old lady.
Love it.
The faded GMT.
Yep. How much was that watch? Do you remember?
I think it was
something like $4,000.
Something like that, yeah.
Could you imagine? I mean, this, which is worth significantly more than that. I mean, people ask me all the time, like, is buying new Rolex worth it? You know, and I'm like, okay, well, in many ways, your pre-owned is just as good, if not better. But holy shit, net gain. You're talking about things that have appreciated double over the course of 10 years.
Yeah.
You know, and you've worn the out of it.
Yes.
You know, pardon my French. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
And you are wearing the centerpiece of today's conversation.
Yes, I am. I am wearing an Apple Watch Space Gray Series 2 with a faded black canvas band, and it's only faded because I've had it in the pool a couple times.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love the patina.
And I am wearing, I love the patina. Manual light?
If you want it to be, I'm sure there's a complication.
I'm wearing a Rolex Reference 1601 in yellow gold with a lemon Buckley dial. Actually, you guys, if you guys didn't see Liquor Run, you don't even know who Anthony is. You guys have no idea. One, I recommend you go watch Liquor Run because it was one of the best episodes that's been on this channel ever. We talked about entrepreneurship, we talked about challenging corporate norms and things like that. It was phenomenal. I owe it to these guys because I know nothing about corporate norms. So this is Anthony. My dad and Anthony work together at a company based in San Francisco, right?
Yep.
Yes.
And we've all become friends since because we have so much in common. You know, so much in common. So talk about your Apple Watch a little bit. I want to know, as a consumer, because you know we come from the watch industry, so I have no actual professional opinion on this watch. Mine is very distant. What's up? You know, tell me why you bought it, number one.
First of all, is this the first time that an Apple Watch has been featured on this show?
Yes.
And if so, I'm actually really worried about the response that people might get from this.
Look at this hipster piece of shit.
So I am a vintage watch virgin, as if you will, and hopefully by the end of this trip out here over the next day or so, I might be enlightened.
Yep.
But I come from a little bit of a different background. I'm a technology kind of geek. You know, I grew up modding different stereos and speakers, and ultimately that led to a fascination with what Apple was doing, not only with personal computers, but with gadgets, right? And about 3 years ago, they decided to make the watch their new gadget. And I'll tell you, initially, I was actually very disappointed with the Series 1, like the first product, because...
You had a Series 1.
I had a Series 1, yes. And it took me a while to buy the first Apple Watch, though.
And then you were disappointed even after you took a while to buy it.
It took me a while to get over the fact that the first take on the watch from Apple was not this unbelievable thing that I've never seen that just seamlessly fits around your wrist.
Right.
And doesn't necessarily have a band, and maybe it's an OLED screen that's flexible and goes around your wrist.
Right.
And it does a whole bunch of things that your traditional watch can't do. I was really upset that was not the case with the first Apple Watch, because that's maybe something you would expect from a very innovative, technology-forward company. And maybe this is a bit of a peace offering to those who are, you know, have a reaction against Apple Watch. Is that I was, over time, and as I've experienced the watch and I've used it over the last couple of years, I'm pleasantly surprised that they've actually held true to the common elements of what a watch really should be.
Okay.
Which is like a traditional form factor.
Right.
That feels good on your wrist.
Yep. And smaller than most of the modern offerings by Cartier.
Yes.
If you want to go there, but
now I understand that, like, I might be the first on this show to like defend the Apple Watch. Which I'm not here to do. Right. But I'm here to really talk about my experience with it, which, as I said, I've been pleasantly surprised with the feel of the Apple Watch over the last 18 months that I've had it.
Right.
It has functioned the way that it should. It stands out a bit like when you wear a suit, but at the same time, I don't need it to when I'm casual, and it does the job. More so, it's really an extension of my phone, which is really why I wear it in the first place.
But Apple now introduced it with the 3, right? That you don't even need your phone in relative distance. Right now, you can leave home without your phone and have your Apple Watch on.
Yep.
Do whatever you have to do. So really, at this point, they're introducing the Apple Watch, at least as I kind of view it, as a separate entity from your phone, almost completely. Right? I mean,
absolutely.
Which is interesting. I mean, from forget technology, from just a fundamental idea that I don't think I could answer emails from my wrist. I just don't think I can.
I couldn't either.
So,
yeah, I couldn't either. There's other features of the watch that I think are primary to me.
Talk to me about that.
So I'm in the corporate world.
Right.
I run a client services consulting business,
Which you should shout out right now on YouTube.
Thank you very much. I run a consulting business by the name of Thoughtium. We challenge organizations to think differently about the way they design strategy and the way that they experience learning.
And he really does. It's not just like another entrepreneur that says like, oh, this is our corporate mission because I'm a really good writer and I took it in college. He actually does do that. So please follow Thoughtium on YouTube because it really is going to, I think, return you, if nothing else, but real enjoyment from watching a company actually grow and progress and become a real thing. That's my spiel. Continue.
Thank you very much. So, I spend a lot of time in the corporate office.
Right.
And much of that time is going from meeting to meeting.
Right.
And I know, Rolando, you do as well too,
yes.
right? And when you're in a headquarters role, you are essentially a slave to your calendar. And your calendar is only as good as how you know your calendar. And that comes by way of either flipping your laptop open or constantly pulling your phone out of your pocket. And so the Apple Watch, even if you just took the calendar functionality, does really well in the corporate space because it allows you to have visibility and manage your calendar, your text messages, even reading or consuming emails can be done without flipping a laptop open or sheepishly pulling your phone out in the middle of a conference, meeting, having to kind of look underneath and be obvious about it. How many times, and you've been in corporate headquarters left and right, how many times do you see people walking around literally with their laptop open like it's a tray of prosciutto?
Really?
Absolutely,
right?
yes.
Absolutely.
All the time, yes.
And it's just like, you can't wear
That's
corporate
kind of-
slave
right.
more than walking around with a laptop
You're
open.
right.
That's wow.
Like literally like running into walls.
That's kinda
because I
jarring.
can't see
with
it.
the laptop open.
Absolutely, absolutely. So,
Very good.
so the Apple Watch has allowed me to be a little bit more discreet with the
look a
way
little bit better
I
when you
manage
walk
my
into
day.
walls.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Very cool. So I know that I've never owned an Apple Watch. I know that many people who are very, very serious about watches have owned Apple Watches. I know people that are like literally at the at the top of this industry that wear and have owned and wear Apple Watches. I have not. So I don't speak from any personal experience. My kind of contention, and we did an episode of Liquor Run about this a little while ago, was that the Apple Watch. We're trying to identify the competitors. Who is in danger now that the Apple Watch exists? So now you, because you come from a very different environment than I do, the people who are buying and wearing Apple Watches. So I imagine you know plenty of people and you see plenty of people. Do you think that they are eligible or interested? I don't mean money wise, but interested even in mechanical watch world? Or does that even, or are they a total different culture?
So to answer your question, yes, I think they're eligible.
Because now I hate you. Now you're thrown out of this office.
Well, wait, why?
No, I thought, and once again, I don't know any people. It was my maybe optimistic hope that the people who are buying Apple Watches weren't necessarily interested in this other, world of luxury, handmade, blah, blah, blah watches. I viewed the people that are in danger now as, like Fossil, things like that, entry-level companies that have, watches from $80 to $100 or $400. Not people who are appreciating one of two things: one, craftsmanship, and two, status symbol. Because the Apple Watch is not. It's not a status symbol. It's almost the way out of playing that game. Do you know what I mean? Because it competes in and of its own. I mean, there are billionaires that are wearing this shit. So you don't look at someone's watch and say, like, oh, they don't make a lot of money. Which is a big thing in watches. Mm-hmm. You see a gold Rolex, it's not about watches. That's about, okay, wow, that person likes to, play around with cash. This is from the inventory. I don't play around with cash. But that to me is a very interesting kind of reason for buying. And the Apple Watch seems to almost circumnavigate that whole thing.
Yeah, and I'm definitely, I'm not here to say that, the Apple Watch community is going to take away from any of the the vintage marketplace by any means.
Or even the new marketplace in the luxury world, Omega, Rolex, even that.
No, not at all. I think the question was, do you feel that folks like myself, for example, who, I've been wearing an Apple Watch for a year or two, am I eligible to learn and understand about some of the aspects of your world that maybe I don't experience?
But you're also an interested person.
Absolutely. It's more of a function of my demographic, right? Like I'm actually coming to a point in my life where maybe a nicer watch with a suit is a little bit more attractive to me today than it would have been, 5 or 7 years ago. There's a part of me now that is a little bit more interested in something that is a bit more timeless, that's a bit more cultured, that's a bit more reflective
But that's
of my
the way
age.
you are, though.
Absolutely.
I never would have thought otherwise about Anthony.
Okay, so I have a question. Can Anthony live with an Apple iWatch during the day and then go out for a great meal?
And I think that's it.
All right, this was absolutely awesome. Thank you so much, Anthony, for
Thank
coming.
you for having
That was the
me.
worst high five. Holy sh! Oh my God! Don't follow him on any of the mediums he told you to follow him on. That was awful.
I give a horrible high five.
No, thank you guys so much for watching part 1 of this awesome conversation. Part 2 will be live tomorrow on RANT&H. We're just gonna do the same thing again. So stay tuned for tomorrow on RANT&H for the second part of this awesome conversation.
Clouds and dirt.